Hello, Lisa here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to this week's episode of Tarot by the Book. If you are new to my channel, welcome. If you are new to this series, then Tarot by the Book is essentially a series where I share with you a 3-card week ahead tarot spread that is designed to meet you where you are and give you whatever messages you need to receive for the week. I like to read the cards first intuitively, and then in Tarot by the Book what we do is we then take a look at what the creator of the deck's guidebook had to say about the cards that we drew as well. And we end up getting a really cool thing where we can kind of compare and contrast my intuitive reading with the book meanings and sort of see how we can layer those two things together for a cohesive meaning. And in the process, we sort of end up learning a little bit more about how the guidebook for the deck reads, and we also learn a little bit more about how to read the tarot. This week we're going to be playing with the Playful Heart Tarot by Zara, who is Kitten Chops, and this is a really, really lovely independent deck. I really enjoy working with it. The artwork is really vivid and emotive, and to be honest, I find that it reads so well without the guidebook that I haven't really even been working with the guidebook all that much, to be completely honest. So this will be kind of a fun dive into how the guidebook reads and how it supports the readings that we get from the cards. So we'll be diving into that together. I do have the guidebook on my tablet because it was a digital guidebook, and so that's where we'll be looking for the meanings. Oh my goodness. These cards are like a really lovely linen, like playing card finish, but that makes them very, very slippery. Okay. So, if you are here for the reading, then settle into your seat wherever you might be, take a couple deep breaths, and just focus on what you might need to hear for the week ahead. I will be working with 3 spread positions, as I always do. So the energy of the week, any potential obstacle for the week, as well as our advice. So if you would like to interpret the reading based on a particular situation, then focus on that situation while I shuffle. All right, let's see what we're looking at this week. Oh, and these cards that come with are just like a little bit about the tarot deck itself. So those aren't like a guidebook or anything. All right, so our energy for the week ahead, our obstacle, and this center position I'll read as if the card were reversed. I don't work with reversals, but the position itself asks us to look at sort of the shadow or the blockage in that card, and our advice for the week. All right, let's zoom in and take a look at these cards. Perfect. So our energy for the week ahead is the Page of Pentacles, and we have this character here who's sort of holding up and examining the pentacle that they have in their hands. What's interesting to me is the first thing that stands out about this card is this foxtail. The Page of Pentacles is a character that I really see as somebody who is very resourceful. They're not afraid to get their hands dirty. They definitely are somebody who's going to get sort of down into situations and really find out how things tick, how people tick. So it tells me that the energy for this week, for those of you who are using this as a week ahead, the energy for the week ahead is going to be one of sort of really getting some things done, and if work needs to be done, just getting right into it. So less planning and more doing for sure, and a fairly productive week overall is something that I see for those of us who are working on projects or who have things we're trying to accomplish at our workplace or in our creative pursuits. We're going to be making some headway this week and really see things starting to fall into place. I think it's also worth noting that the Page of Pentacles is somebody who isn't afraid to chase after a little coin where it makes sense. So if you are looking for maybe asking somebody for a raise, or if there's something coming up for you where you really need to think about money and how money is going to be playing out for you, the Page of Pentacles is somebody who really is confident about their own worth to a certain degree. They know that if they put the effort in, that they'll seek they'll deserve and be well within their, I guess, rights to seek proper payment or reward for that effort. So don't be afraid to really be nuts and bolts about things this week. Definitely, I think it's part of the energy we're going to be looking at. Taking a look at the obstacle of the week, we actually got one of the bonus cards from this deck. It says, embrace your inner child. And so when we're thinking of this as an obstacle, it tells me that there may be a part of you that's feeling a little bit neglected this week and will probably need a little bit of your attention and care. So look out this week for little sort of triggering kind of moments where you find yourself really reacting from a place of transference in a way, of past experiences sort of coloring your current experiences. Be aware that those bigger reactions that may feel out of skew or out of not quite in line with the actual experience you're having, be aware that those may be coming from a place deeper inside of you that's been a little bit neglected. Perhaps there's a part of you where you haven't let yourself fully experience an emotion about a past experience. Perhaps you haven't really let yourself grieve the loss of something small or big in your life, and that sort of colors how you may interact with people this week. So really important to self-nurture and practice good self-care this week, because this may come up and bite you a little bit. If there's a part of you that you've been neglecting, if there's a part of that sort of more sensitive, vulnerable part of you that you have been neglecting, that may kind of have a little tantrum. That part of you may have a little tantrum and need some extra attention and love this week. And finally, we have the Emperor for our advice card for the week. The Emperor is somebody who really likes things to be structured. They like things to go a particular way. This is where some of our desire to have control over our lives shows up for sure, and that can be good, and it can also get us into trouble sometimes. So be aware. The advice this week is to really not be afraid to sort of step up and take charge where you need to take charge, but keep it balanced, especially if you find yourself having those sort of emotional reactions, or if you feel like you're overreacting in situations. The Emperor asks you to stay in control of both yourself and your surroundings, but do that in a way that's not out of proportion with what's happening around you. I think with both the Emperor and the Page of Pentacles sort of flanking this card, it tells me that this is a week where things are really going to feel like they need to happen boom, 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 like in a particular order. You're going to want to feel like things are sort of trucking along and being productive. And these cards have lined you up for a week where that can happen, as long as the sort of inner, maybe more repressed parts of you don't get in the way and start creating havoc on your behalf, right? So really pay attention to some of those subtle undercurrents emotionally that may be coming up this week, so that these things don't get thrown out of balance. And make sure that as you're taking charge of your life and your situation this week, that you don't become too overbearing and then throw things out of balance in a different way. So that is how I would read these three cards intuitively. Let's take a look now at the guidebook. So here we have, oh, hopefully the camera will focus properly, the Playful Heart Tarot Guidebook. So we're going to take a look first at the Page of Pentacles for our energy of the week. So let's get into Pentacles, Majors. So we have Wands, Cups, Swords, and then Pentacles. Perfect. So, so our page, I'm going to pull the card up and then I'll read from the guidebook. So it says, greetings, hunter girl. Are you a fox spirit or are you a human? You know the rules of the forest and the ways of the farmers. You know how to survive in any situation. You are warm, loving, and curious. You're a hard worker, eager to learn more and find ways to make your dreams a reality. You know you have a long way to go from acorn to oak, but the journey is the funnest part, right? Take what is on offer now and make the best of it. This opportunity will be lucrative long-term engagement for you. Really, really cool. I like that. So it really ties in well with my reading. We're seeing somebody here who's not afraid to go after what they want, recognizes that it will take work and effort, especially over the long haul, but ultimately is going to keep moving forward. I think that ties in really well with what I got. I'm not sure where this bonus card is going to show up in this guidebook, so let's take a peek, probably with the Major Arcana, if it even has an entry. It may not. I don't think. I'm just paging through. It wasn't in the Majors. Then we get right into Wands. There may not be actual guidebook entries for these extra cards. Ah, here we go. I found it. It's in the back. So, embrace your inner child. Your inner child lives in your innermost, deepest heart space. Hopefully, this innermost heart space is not so far away that you never visit. This child is the most creative and most vulnerable part of yourself. See how inspired her style is? Mushroom hat, cute, warm, protective, and noise canceling. Fresh as a daisy collar, super bright, comfy outfit with leggings for all sorts of play activities, jumping and climbing. Her dress has a pocket too. What does she keep in there? It is something precious and fun, something she treasures and loves. What is it? How old is she? Ask your inner child if she wants to be with you. She needs to be assured that you, now a strong, capable adult, are in charge of your life. She can relax and do what she is best at, playing and creating. When this card comes up, it is an invitation to visit your deepest heart of hearts. Come inside and see the child part of your heart. He or she needs to hear that you are always there for her, love her, and will never abandon her. Confirm that you're willing to let her light shine through in your life via play and creative action. So again, keeping in mind there was no like sort of reversed keywords for this card because it's a bonus, but I did read it as if it were reversed, looking at sort of how could this card be representing an obstacle? And that is how I came up with the whole idea of you may find this inner child sort of tantruming a little bit, sort of calling out for your attention, or perhaps showing up in the way that you respond to situations this week, particularly when you feel an emotional charge. So I think that still ties in pretty darn well. Let's take a look at our Emperor card and see what the guidebook has to say about him. So the Emperor, remembering that he was our advice card for the week or for the situation. All the bounty the Empress's gardens is producing, the Emperor puts to practical use. Chief designer of all practical matters, master rule maker, mover, and shaker. He turns all the fruit into remarkable products. He organizes, protects, advises, looks after everything. He is solid, reasonable, supportive, and rational. He is the masculine productive principle in action. Be mindful of the armor he wears under his cashmere sweater, though. The Emperor is strong, fair, and all his actions flow from love. When he shows up, ask yourself if you are the Emperor in your own life. Are you holding the remote honey bun? Are you setting your day up so you can be productive and brave? There's that productivity word again. Are you creating a structure that supports your goals? Define exactly what it would take and then do it. Stay motivated. Write your own rules and then stick to them with full integrity and a committed heart. I think that's really super great, actually. And I think that with the productivity word that sort of popped out, I think that's really going to be a key message for the week, is going to be to really focus on how can we channel the energy of the Page of Pentacles and the energy of the Emperor into really getting things done this week. So I think that's going to be our key takeaway. So with that said, that is this week's Tarot by the Book reading. I hope that that was helpful. I really enjoy working with the guidebook in my own practice, and so I enjoy sharing with you guys how that works in general with all of my decks. Typically the decks for Tarot by the Book are selected randomly, so I just put them into a random name picker and the app tells me what deck we're going to use. So that was this week's Tarot by the Book. I look forward to hearing your feedback, whether or not these messages resonated with you, and any things that you have to say maybe about the difference between my intuitive reading and the guidebook entries, to see if anything else maybe popped out at you, any other comparisons you want to make. So thank you so, so much. Again, this is the Playful Heart Tarot by Kitten Chops. I will have a link to this deck in the description box down below in case you want to check it out, assuming it is still available, and I'm pretty sure it is. It is a beautiful, beautiful deck, and I love working with it. Thank you so, so much for joining me for this week's Tarot by the Book. I will see you guys in the next one. Remember to like, share, subscribe, do all the good things, and if you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do that over at supportivetarot.com. Thanks so much, guys. Bye!